Dwayne Ebanks.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Radio Commands, talk today.
If you're ready to talk, we're willing to listen.
Well, I really enjoy this program today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
May God bless every person.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome. I know you think it's Monday, but the calendar says Tuesday. In case I forgot, Susan said, nope, it's Wednesday. Can you imagine that? We had 2 days off and some of us are not quite sure what's transpiring. Well, you're going to tell me so that I know as we make it forward. 949-8837, 1-800-534-8255. Call, keep our company, and share your thoughts. Hey, it's not a boxing match with Muhammad Ali, but guess what? It's a good place to be. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email Talk Today at candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255.
Courtesy of Flow.
Cayman's #1 network that connects you to your world like never before.
Let your voice be heard. Once again, here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back, and thanks for joining us as we invite you to be a part of our first opening segment of Talk Today to hear from you. Well, let's go straight to the phones. Good afternoon, welcome, thanks for calling.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Happy New Year to you.
Yes, sir, same to you.
Oh.
But, sir, I would like to say I just came back from Flow in Galleria Plaza. I always go there because I live close by.
Mm-hmm.
And for the umpteen amount of times, they have 2 people on cash, and the line is over 16 and 20 long. What is their excuse? I don't know, because the people are inside anyway, and they only have 2 people on cash. At 74 years old, I was in the line for over 1 hour. Okay? It's been happening over and over and over again, and nobody is paying attention. Like, you know, the seniors look outside and they see the line is long and they have 2 people on cash. Why not put out 2 more? There's space for it. There's set up already, you know? And don't tell me about the COVID, because anyway, the people are inside.
But
So,
do you... Okay.
it's just that they've been getting away with this over donkey's years, you know? And I've been with Flow for 48 years.
Wow.
So, you know, what's their excuse? Is it that they don't care because if we don't pay, we get cut off? You know, and I mean, time and time again. One day I joined that line 4 times. And the lady that was in front of me, she said she has come there and joined the line 4 times. Why not put 2 people out more in cash? The cashiers, the machines are there, everything, you know? And it's useless calling and to speak to the manager because he's always not available. And no matter which message you leave, that's the old-fashioned way. Nobody returns your call.
Well, maybe now that you've shared that, maybe it'll be not just them, but other businesses as well. But the time of year, too, I mean, could it be that it's that much more challenging for people to get everything done, including their year-end sort of reports, their frame of mind that some are in, the vacation requests, you know, trying to schedule everybody? Could that be part of the challenge that businesses in general are facing?
Sir, I live in this same house since 1985. So I use the services on West Bay Road, and Flow is by far the worst. And you talk and you talk and you talk and nothing is done. I mean, not even one little thing that says seniors. A lot of places here, why are they getting away with it? I mean, I came here at 24, I'm now 74, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying, who is making provisions for seniors except the COVID injection people? They treat you like an angel. Nobody else is. You know, the whole world. You say you're a senior, and they're able to help you quicker, you know, because we can't stand up so long anymore.
But is that maybe that whole issue with how we treat people, but our children and our seniors in particular, is that a cultural thing? Is that something that we need to address, you know, from a society's perspective, so that it's not just the discounts that they may get, but the respect that we show them?
We're happy to get the discounts, to tell you the truth.
You're right.
But all that standing up and paying our bills, or younger generation, they're busy doing their own thing too. You know? It's just that flow, like I tell you, I've lived in this house since 1985. So I tend to use the Galleria one. And you just see people going, looking, it's a stampede, you know? And everything is just, but I'm saying there are 4 spots.
Well, I certainly can understand the frustration, and I do share with you that as a society, we should, you know, generally speaking, be absolutely more respectful, you know, to our people, but in particular our seniors. So hopefully all of our businesses will look at that and try to do something as part of their strategies for the new year. But prayers for you for not just, you know, safety and health, but a very peaceful and blessed new year, Mom.
Thank you. And I hope somebody from Flow is listening to this, because, I mean, I'm not just talking about me. I'm talking about people in general. The line is too long for a place that has set up for 4 cashiers, yet they only have 2. Yet, if they're going to say anything about COVID, well, the people are inside anyway.
Right. Well, it is certainly something to take on board, and, you know, hopefully not just them, but other businesses will look at the operations. But blessings to you, Mom, and thanks very much for sharing your thoughts, all right?
Thank you, my darling.
You're welcome, my dear. Blessings to you. And with that, let's take another call. Good afternoon, welcome, thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Sterling Dwayne. How are you?
I am very blessed and thankful.
Happy New Year.
All right, man. Happy New Year to you, man.
Yeah. What the lady just recalled it, I'll voice my opinion on that. This sucks. That's the bottom line. This sucks. I have been there over and over as well. I mean, I don't go too often now, but I've been there time and time again. And if it isn't 1, it's 2 cashiers. Very, very, very seldom you find the 3rd one in there. And usually if you see the 3rd one, they're training somebody.
But is that the challenge that businesses are facing, the great demand on their services, trying to schedule their team members, you know?
Sterling, there's no challenge with them. As the old people would say, from morning they've been that way. You go to countryside, it's the same thing. You got 1 or 2 cashiers working. You go to Anderson Square when they were there, same thing was. They had the whole you would see section for cashiers, but they never had them filled. You go to the one on Eastern Avenue, it's pretty much the same.
How long do you think you're there, and any business generally speaking, many of us now will pay in person, many of us would use other payment methods, whether by the phone or online or something else. But for those who are, for whatever reason, wish to pay in person, how long do you think that sort of transaction takes? Now we know that customers say they'll be in line for the longest of times, but how long do you think, that take?
I usually do my transactions now online. That's why I tell you I very seldom go in.
Mm-hmm.
But when you would say it was very few transactions being done online by anybody,
right?
It was still the same way. They had very, very little to no, let me say, customer service, because that's the bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know what customer service is about.
Is that across the board, you think, in businesses here as well, or just?
No, it's not across the board at all.
Okay.
It's not across the board at all.
So,
if you go into Digicel at any time, and I can say that because the names were called just now.
Well, sometimes highlighting things in that way may be helpful in order to, if say for argument's sake, a business is well known, has a reputation for a good product, a good service, other businesses will use that as a benchmark to say, well, let's see if we can do that, even if they're not in the same sector, right?
But like I say, you go into Digicel and pretty much, they have a lot of line too because of their clientele.
Mm-hmm.
But you're basically in and out before, you would say 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You can go to C3, Logic, any of those, and you're pretty much in and out.
Mm-hmm.
Flow is something totally different, and that's been for years. That's not what I call. I called to give my condolences to the Tibbetts family. They just lost their brother, Buzzer.
Yeah, man, I join you not, man. It's a hard time sometimes when people.
It is very hard, and I know that they're a tight-knit family, care about their siblings a lot, and I know Mr. Denston was in the States with him for a while and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So
there have been a lot of losses this year, man.
Yes, it has.
It's been hard to sometimes, come and put on a good face, as it were.
Yeah.
As if nothing,
No amount of words can, comfort the grief that you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but I publicly like to, really, really give my condolences to them and wish them all the best.
Hey, thank you for that. Just remembering people generally, but especially in times like this, and holding them up in prayer is important.
Yeah.
So, glad that you were able to do that, man.
All right. Well, you all take care and all the best for the new year, which is in a couple of days' time.
Thanks, man. And to you as well, right? Blessings to you. Talk to you very soon.
Okay.
All right. Well, with that, let's pause and take that break. Make sure that Miss Susan got her hand on the controls, and we're going to just move it forward, man. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Are you planning a social, an office party, or event over the holiday season? Make the most of your holiday party and leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway Box to Go, with the option of a 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. Cater your holiday parties with Subway. Visit subway.ky for menu options. Subway, eat fresh.
You can now register online to receive a securely verified digital copy of your COVID-19 vaccination status with QR code through the MyHSA patient portal. Sign up is available online and at all HSA locations. All you need is your photo ID showing date of birth and an email address. Visit hsa.ky and click the MyHSA patient portal icon to get started.
It's the holiday season and time to be merry, cherry, and bright. And nothing feels better than giving to your favorite local charity. This season, take an extra minute or two to make sure your charity is a registered nonprofit with the Cayman Islands government. You can find the list of registered nonprofit online at ciregistry.ky. We'd hate to see your money end up in the wrong hands, and we're sure you do too. So keep giving, Cayman. Just double check who you're giving to. A message from the Registrar of Nonprofit Organizations.
Your Radio Cayman 6 p.m. news, Monday through Friday, is brought to you by Logic. Your life connected.
Radio Cayman News.
Radio Cayman presents 2021 Year in Review. In a 30-minute long program, travel back in time with me, Radio Cayman's Parsley Fuller, as we take a look at the biggest stories of 2021, including the election, tropical storms Grace and Ida, and of course, COVID-19. Hear it on Radio Cayman January 1st and 2nd at 6 p.m.
Radio Cayman, your choice for today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman's 2021 Year in Review is proudly brought to you by Michael Webster Life Insurance. Don't take chances with your family's future. Call Michael Webster at 925-5433. CUC, you've got the power. Rotary Central, together we inspire. Savannah Pharmacy, always just around the corner in Countryside Shopping Village. WhatsApp your Savannah Pharmacy prescription to 929-5045. And the Cayman Islands Civil Service Association, always working hard, promoting and protecting the welfare of its members and providing goodwill between government employees and the public.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waging to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back, and thanks for sharing your thoughts with us. Going to be some open line until 1:30 or so. Luigi Moxham is going to swing by and talk to us, and then 2 o'clock. And I want to see the continuing entrepreneurial spirit that is part of our ethos. Well, welcome some young entrepreneurs to our studio at 2, and we got a chance to chat with them. But between now and then, let's have an opportunity to hear from you. What is it that you're thinking of? What are your sort of plans and purposes for the new year? A few friends have been joking and saying, do you realize that when the year rolls in and we pronounce it, we may write 2022, but when we pronounce it, it's 2022. Is that a repetition? Prayerfully not. But sometimes it's how we define things and how some people malign others, but yet, we move forward with a plan and a purpose. What were your sort of wishes, for last year and for 2021 that didn't materialize? Are they the same wishes that you have for 2022? What are some of the misgivings? And as difficult as it is, many of us, have jobs. The job of being a parent sometimes, where you have to always endeavor to be realistic, but positive, and nurturing, and uplifting, and trying to ensure that our children. But what about our teachers? They pay the same utilities that we pay, irrespective of the name of the company that they use as their provider. They shop in the same supermarkets and buy, groceries. Now their choices may be different, but their lives, affect and influence the lives of our children, the people now and the future leaders of tomorrow. And yet they come forward every day with a great sense of purpose, poised, within the class to make a difference. How do we partner with them? Now, sometimes we hear that we often reward mediocrity. We're unwilling to hold ourselves and each other accountable. We fail to accept responsibility. And then there are many who believe that we know all that is transpiring in the lives of the people that we may see publicly, from our politicians to our teachers to even, the pastors who may preach the sermons. Many times, we put forward that good faith, believing in what is to come, not being, beaten by what is transpiring. And yet we know not what they feel nor experience, and we conclude that it must be this, that, the other. And in so doing, are we helping or hindering? Are we hurting and harming, or are we uplifting and forgiving? Well, depends on that perspective. Huh? So, as we look forward to next year, what is it that we reflect on? And what is it that we, pray for? Well, let's hear from you. 949-8037, toll free with the compliments of Flo at 1-800-534-8255. And as the caller before, there are many who have buried their loved ones, who've lost their loved ones, or whether it's just in the passing moments, or whether there have been, many memories in between, many moons that have passed. But the wound of the decades ago is still fresh, as if it was, just now. And our hearts, our prayers, our thoughts, our well wishes are with them. And they would probably tell you, in respect to that loved one, that we move on, we move forward, we press in, we be positive, we endeavor to do good. Doesn't mean there's no heart. There's no mean that as the loved ones are, hospitalized, that we are uncertain as to where, that diagnosis may lead in the prognosis of their recovery. But it certainly means that life goes on all the same, and they would want us to do just that. So we invite you to give us a shout. When I exited on the other day, Miss Susan, shared with us her latest, piece of poetry, and it shows a phenomenal talent. There may be some who may have seen, her came on yesteryear being posted on what they say is social media, but I just have to wonder, is it that talent that heals from the back that has been sharpened on ground, or is it something that we are not necessarily willing to embrace as great as we should? We have such a wealth of talent within our shores. Are we harnessing it, encouraging and nurturing, and using it as an example for others to be inspired? Well, the poet amongst us, the painter or the sculptor, the singer, the songwriter, the performer, the dancer, from those who, do great things, oftentimes, we fail to appreciate it. Let's not celebrate them after their demise. Let's celebrate them now while they're here and they can hear our praise. 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255. I probably would know if I had listened and remembered when they said how many muscles it takes to smile versus how many it takes to keep a sour look and frown on our face. Well, let's recognize, that for some people it doesn't mean that they want to have that less than pleasant appearance. So life has given them and dealt them, a bad hand, as they say. Well, what are we doing when we draw alongside them? Are we encouraging? Are we supportive? Are we there to help? That hump in our shoulders, that, less than spiritless step that we once had. Well, it may not necessarily be the years that have passed. It may have been the toll of the days and the toss and weaves as we try many times to just move on, that it becomes too hard for some to bear. And we fail to appreciate that it's not just a cliche. Many hands make light work. Well, it's true. Hands working together brings about, not just perhaps an easy outcome, but perhaps a more festive time. You ever been in a place where the people are working and you can see the joy on their face? It's not because of the bonuses or the paychecks that they'll get, but the pride of the work that they'll do. Think back to some of our boat builders and our carpenters. Mr. Edmund Easler comes to mind. He still rides his bike, and finer, sharper finishing carpenter you probably can't find, because there's pride in the work, and those who seek him out do so because of his skill and his expertise and experience, but also because they know there's pride in the work and it's going to be done right. Well, that's what we once were. Is it what we still are? Well, let me know. 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255. WhatsApp, 925-3261. Now, I don't know about, the rest of you, but some of us, we engage heavily in the Christmas festivities. I don't know if we had to go to the gym to get our weight workout because the heft of our plates helped us a lot. Good thing the tables were strong because the plates were overflowing. And I won't ask anybody else if they, like me, ate too much over Christmas. But I know that between now and God's willing, the New Year and New Year's Eve and New Year's Day and even the first couple of days of the New Year, I'm hoping to be able to engage, how we say it, Miss Susan, a good tuck out. Whether it's the turtle or the beef, whether it's some other thing that you may like. Now, we recognize that it isn't to be gluttonous. It's just part of the festivities. You sit and celebrate. You visit with people that you haven't seen for the longest of times, or that you haven't had, in your mind, that sort of time to just sit and fellowship. And that may mean that they pour you some coconut water or some other libation. It may mean that they bring out a piece of cassava cake. It may mean that they bring out so much food that you can't do anything but stay because you're so weighed down you can't leave. All you need now is a hammock and a few hours to nap. Well, that's why I think, at this time of year is special for many, because they spend time willingly. They look forward to it eagerly, to just sit among family and friends and not have to feel hurried, stressed. Now, in preparing that food, there is that level of stress because we got to source it. We put our pressures on ourselves. Well, I got to make it as good as grandfather or mama used to do. Johnny is coming over, boy, we want to make sure that that cornbread tastes as good as he remembers. So these are the things, But it is the act of being together that is important. And perhaps the end of the day, when we look at what Christmas is, the sort of commercialization of it, we asked the question the other day, is the 12 days of Christmas starting on Christmas Day or ending on Christmas Day? That tradition that I'm sure is evident in other cultures, but certainly is, and hopefully still is, but it certainly was part of who we are. You go visiting, you take some food, you joyfully accept the food that is offered to you as you spend time. Our forefathers had very little, but they shared willingly. We have a lot, but do we do the same? Are we begrudging? Are we, what is that? Covetous, they say, not covet. We take and we, look at others and we feel a way about they having this and we don't. Or we may have it too, but because they have it, we somehow have that sense of envy. We need to figure it out, because you got a nice deck of cards. Do you want to play solitaire, or do you want to invite 3 others down for a game of whist? If you're sitting and enjoying just the breeze, and you might just want to rock in your hammock just for a bit, just to rejuvenate. But would it not be good to have someone else telling you a story about their youth, telling you about their dreams and plans, that thing which they would love to see? And maybe you can draw along and offer up counsel, some assistance and guidance. And what that person is, an aged member of your family, or a very youthful, ambitious individual who is, perhaps like you were once, desiring for greater things. Not more, but better. Well, you share with us. 8949-8037, 1-800-534-8255. We'll pause, take that break. Phone lines are open if you want to share your thoughts with us. You might just be, in need of a listening ear because there's a comment, a complaint that you need to share. It might even be a compliment or a query, a question that needs to be asked. Well, we're here. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Savannah Pharmacy. Shop local and get a head start on your Christmas shopping. For ladies' handbags, clothes, shoes, fragrance, candles, and cosmetics with the newest Farmhouse Fresh line of skincare. For the gentlemen, clothes, shoes, fragrances, gift sets, and toys and games for the kids. Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they are always just around the corner with everything your family needs. And convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
A friendly holiday reminder. You can WhatsApp your Savannah Pharmacy prescription to 929-5045. That's 929-5045. Study local and go far this spring. Want to start your bachelor's or associate degree or just need a few classes to complete? Registration is now open for spring classes at UCCI. Scholarships are available for the spring semester, but you need to act now to meet the deadlines. Visit www.ucci.edu.ky to enroll now. Classes begin January 10th. Enroll by December 1st for a chance to win an iPad or a laptop.
The Ministry of Education invites eligible Caymanians to apply for overseas government scholarships for the 2022-2023 academic year. To apply for an overseas government scholarship or learn more about the various scholarship programs, please visit the recently upgraded scholarship application portal at www.moescholarships.gov.ky. Applications close on Monday, 31st of January, 2022.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back, and thanks for sharing with us. And certainly want your input. Invite you to call and share your thoughts with us. 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255, or WhatsApp 925-3261. Now, I believe, the caller prior was trying to highlight the challenges, and as we were sharing, it could be the timing of the year, it could be all sorts of things. And we're grateful for the responsiveness of Flo, and just a couple of bits and pieces of information that they share with us. As we expect, this time of year presents challenges, scheduling staff, and in that particular location, they've advised that they've got staff members who are out today. In this case, affecting the usual complement. I don't know about you, but many of us probably got a lot of nice, wonderful digital devices for Christmas. So in that instance, you got a lot of people now who are first day back to work and sort of official open, and they're looking for assistance. And there's an assurance that they certainly will address the whole issue with seniors, as many businesses are gradually doing. Let's go to our phones. Hey, good afternoon. Welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon to you, Sterling Green.
Good afternoon, sir, and blessings to you for a wonderful new year. Huh?
Yes, all the very best for the Christmas. It's still going on, and happy Easter. God bless it.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Prosperity comes in many forms.
Right. Now, we definitely want to hear you, but for some reason there is a lot of other noise in the phone line. All right, sir. See you. Right. There you go. Okay.
Shouldn't mean everything is dead quiet here.
Perfect. Yeah, it is now.
No, there's a fan going, but it's very quiet.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Because I'm inside.
Yeah, no, thank you, sir.
Little cats. They make no noise. Yes, I heard what you're saying there is a lady when she complained about a famous company that's been with us so many years, Cable and Wireless, Lime, Flow, whatever terminology you choose to use. But that's your name. Great company, has been with us quite a while. But still, chastisement must be given out when it's necessary, and you must stop being this quintessential liberal like Joe Biden that we're going to just be a doormat or find excuses and apologize.
Mm-hmm.
We set up 100 committees. We do hearings, we do all sorts of things that we don't act, and we know. Must act. Just like my cousin there, who used to be a member of Parliament so many years, Anthony Eden, all this saying, stop pussyfooting around and just do something about it.
Get it done, right?
Straighten out, yes. And again, my condolences go to those family who have family passed on there. I heard of Mr. Louis Moncrief's passing, and remember Mr. Louis very well. A wonderful man, a brilliant mind. I remember him very well. And condolences to his family. And there are others also. I saw an article there about Mr. Carlton Borden, the former pilot and so forth, who, they had that disappearance, and it's not been settled. And with that, and 1975, I think it was, quite an article. I've saved it from the Compass there, and I remember Mr. Carlton because I had to make a trip with him, and I think it was a Cessna. It could have been a Piper, but twin engine, and to go for dear beloved West Beer, well known Mr. Arglin, who had been ill in St. Rhoda, Jamaica. We went, bring him back, a stretcher case. And I remember Kirby Miller, you all know Kirby or McConnell, and I went with Carlton and a nurse. And I remember the flight so well, his quietness, his competence, and I remember that. Going in there, and because I'd flown in a small plane before, many years ago, a very small plane, a Cytober, I don't know if you've ever heard of it. The training plane. His aerobatics backwards, his Cytober. Papered dope on strength. This all papered, very strong canvas plane over the wooden fuselage and so forth. Anyway, I had flown in that years before with a friend of mine who was trying to get his license. He's going for his pilots always and all that. Up in Canada, I was working up there as a young man. I remember that. Could fly at 40 miles an hour without stalling, so forth. Anyhow, we went over. Mark had never flown anything small, and I remember to land at the Norman Manley Airport there and on Palzato's Road, Kingston, we had to have two people sitting at the controls. They needed to have an extra, so Carlton asked Sean of us who wanted to be. I said, Mark, you can sit here. Just for official sake and protocol, it had to be two. Then when we landed, we had to get tools and take out the seats to land, to take in the stretcher. I remember it playing all those very close to 50 years ago. And so forth. And I remember we had to wait about 5 hours or so for the ambulance to bring Stahl out. And I remember saying to Mark, well, might as well get out, go, but he had forgotten his passport, didn't bring his passport or anything. I said, don't mind. I used to do customs work here a few years before that, some 7, 8, 10 years before. So I should remember. And immediately I saw a very senior customs officer, and he just told the immigration officer that I knew very well. And they'd asked me if I ever could send him some black crabs. I told him, how the heck am I to get them on the plane? He knew that they had black crabs in East End. He said, you send me a cooker's bag full. Don't worry about how you get them off the plane or what. They'll go through. I'll be here. I've never forgotten that. And then he said, you guys want to get a drink? I said, yes. He said, I said, this is my cousin. He said, don't worry about passports or anything. Just go on up to the VIP lounge and so forth. But I remember it so vividly as I looked at that article. And I know what it's like losing someone and not being sure. I lost my brother at sea. It was many years ago, 2 years after that. off South Sound Key there, and I imagine the feeling. It's no closure, and but I can understand and the kind of doubt and you'll be saying, well, this is how it happened, and we saw the different things in here, suggestions of what happened, or what took place, and so forth. But it never. We are human. It never, in our mind, nothing like that is ever settled. It doesn't matter how long it goes by.
That's true.
And I feel it for the family. I'm just saying, you're talking about wishing. I've never ever made a New Year's, what do you call it? Resolution.
I call them revolutions.
I've never made one.
Yeah.
And I'm the same age as that lady who called about it whole thing. God's willing, my next birthday I'll be 75, God's willing.
God's willing, sir.
And my wish is just to be, healthy and have a belief and faith in God.
Yes, sir.
But I wish for our people. When I say our people, I mean Caymanians, to be courageous, and especially for our elected parliamentarians to have courage. That one word is needed to take care of the financial and all the other problems here with our people in Cayman. This just the one word is courage, because they're going to have to stand up. So that I'm not going to say anymore.
Right.
The powerful private sector, they must stand up to them. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
And you, sir.
Taking my call.
Thank you for taking time to share your thoughts with us. And the level of courage that he displays, the level of encouragement that he portrays. Well, let's take it on board and make the best. All right, we're going to join all the other callers, but hitting the news now. Not of the holiday, and they're busy at work. So let's hear what they have to share with us. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Satisfaction is guaranteed 24 hours a day, whether it's music or information.
From Grand Cayman to Cayman Brac to Little Cayman, we've got you covered.
You ever hear a thing like that?
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
The Health Services Authority's COVID-19 testing will be available on New Year's Day from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. There will be no vaccinations that day. Turning to international news now, the U.S. hit a 7-day average of 265,427 new COVID-19 cases on Tuesday, blowing past the country's previous record of about 252,000 daily cases, reported nearly a year ago on January 11th. The new peak, according to Johns Hopkins University data, comes amid a rapid acceleration of infections in the United States and across the world since last month, and experts predict the Omicron variant, the most contagious strain of coronavirus yet, is going to make the start of 2022 very difficult. Meanwhile, several European countries such as France, the UK, Italy, and Portugal are currently seeing a large increase in daily new cases, many even setting new records since the pandemic began as the Omicron variant continues to spread. Despite the rising trend in daily cases, those figures haven't translated into more deaths and hospitalizations, particularly when compared to the same period a year ago. And 3 intensive care patients in Ukraine have been killed in a hospital fire sparked by a candle lit to remember a recent COVID-19 death. Another 4 people are being treated for severe burns following the blaze in western Ukraine on Tuesday. According to officials, it began when a candle was lit by a member of staff near 5 oxygen concentrators, which instantly caught fire. It is the latest in a number of deadly hospital fires during the pandemic. Those are your latest headlines. I'm Shana Gallego.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back, and thanks for sharing with us. Look at the calendar sometimes and you're not quite sure what day, what date, and these days, even what year Well, Susan tells me it's probably Thursday already, so I'll go with that. 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255. It's open line until 1:30. Luigi Malcolm should stop in and share the usual positive, encouraging, persona that is Luigi. He got a couple of things to showcase as well. And then 2 o'clock, right after the news, the young entrepreneurs join us, and it's a good way, to encourage and to showcase what we have. 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255, or WhatsApp 925-3261. And as a caller prior to the break was sharing, courage is important, but he's also relaying that, maybe the resolutions, the New Year's resolutions that we make, for some of us, we look at that word carefully. I joke and jest and say it's revolutions, but, we probably want to be transformative in our endeavors. We want to engage in something that is meaningful and productive. And so as we resolve, as we demonstrate a sense of resilience, as we have that sense of discipline, determination, courage to do things, it may be that we're finally going to heed what our physician, she's been saying to us. You got to get healthy. You got to take, stock of your lives. Well, maybe we'll do that. But it'll be not just a fad or some fleeting thing that we do for the first few weeks, but it'll be, a marathon, a lifelong pursuit for excellent health and happiness, body and spirit and mind. And as we go forward, let's say it's, an endeavor to do something. Maybe you could once do a pull-up or a push-up, but no longer can. Or something that you don't think you ever could do, never really tried because you didn't have the courage or the discipline or even the motivation to do it. Well, maybe we'll try that now. And you can't do it now, well, try it again tomorrow. And then when you do one, you add the next one, a second, a third, a fourth. Perhaps by the end of the year, you may be doing a few more. Maybe in 10 years, more still. And it doesn't matter, you're 7, 17, 71, or 107. They say the longest journey begins with a single step. Well, if you want to get somewhere, you got to start moving, right? You want a particular book you ever wanted to read, well, it won't read itself. Now, there are many who have audiobooks, and for whatever reason, they may find that, to be convenient. Well, start with that. There are many who would love to read, physical pages, not on a digital device, the physical pages, and turn them. But they would like to do it in the original language that the book was first published. Well, maybe you need to learn that language. Maybe you are familiar with that language, but you haven't. Well, maybe that's an objective that you can work to. But never make, your objectives, your goals, things that are impossible. Some of us would like to be 7 feet tall, but chances are they'll never be impossible. Some of us would like, to run as fast as Carl Lewis, be as great a boxer as Muhammad Ali. Well, those may be attainable with work. But to say that, you're going to run 100 meters and, the blink of an eye, well, don't make your objectives that which is impossible, unattainable. Let them be something you can measure and assess. Let them be something that you set a time limit. I would like to see if by the end of, July this year, to be able to lose maybe 4 pounds. If it's weight loss you're looking at. And as long as you're doing it in a safe, healthy, proper way, then it's possible. End of July, well, 7 months have passed, and maybe you've lost 7 pounds. Or maybe you've lost 10 pounds, as long as it's safe. Or maybe you haven't lost any, but you feel a lot healthier. Your body is better toned. You find that you have more endurance and stamina. But not just your physique, but your mental clarity has improved. Maybe it is an exercise. Maybe it's that you need to chill a little bit more and sleep a little more. Well, for some that may sound easy. For others, that's almost next to impossible. Well, maybe it's a hammock you need on the, 2 mango trees. Well, perhaps you try that. Find a way to improve your quality of life and that of others near and dear you or at least around you, your co-workers and the like. 949-8037. Toll free with the compliments of Flow at 1-800-534-8255. I was talking to someone the other day, and he was reminding me that, as a young man, he always had this Christmas wish. For him, it was a particular bicycle. Always wanted that, and he realizes that in this time, there are many young boys who probably have a similar wish. The bicycle that he wanted no longer probably manufactured. Probably as good as it was, probably isn't nearly as nice as some today. But that wish that he had motivated him to want to be in a position that he could get a good education, get a good job, and one day realize that wish. Not just for him at that time, because he figured he would be much too old and big for a bicycle that size, but make wishes come true for others, not to give them and through them live vicariously, but to help them to realize their goals. And he said that was one of the things when he traveled, lived and worked, and in far off lands, that he was able to help through the concerted action of others to realize the aspirations of somebody less fortunate. And returning to Cayman, he says, we have adopted terminology, but we are not necessarily employing the same strategies with the same level of purpose and kindness. And he's wondering, what has shifted in a society where we no longer look out for each other. We seem to conclude that there are some people who are more deserving than others. For some people who perhaps we mistakenly believe that because this is who they are, that therefore they must have. But he likened it, if 4 children are seated by the table and you see one that is obviously in need of some attention, whether it's food or clothing, do you ignore the others? Do you not ask of them? But more importantly, also offer them, a level of assistance, but show them all, love and kindness and consideration. And he says that, after you get to a certain age in life, maybe because of life's experiences, maybe because you finally mature and come to a space, you realize what's important. And it isn't, how much you have, but perhaps how much you've been able to give. Not because you expected anything in terms of a reward or an award, but because by so giving, you'll get back so much more in terms of a healthier, a safer society. And not that just warm, fuzzy, good feeling that you get from knowing you did a good job. Back to what we referenced earlier, the people who take pride in their work. They do that because for them, it's their signature, it's their name. They understand that you do it right and you take pride. Well, as you're moving out and about, we do appreciate that many have made continual public appeals relative to how we conduct ourselves on our roads. As pedestrians, are we paying attention to oncoming cars? Do we just walk, out in the middle of the road and not, worry about drivers? Or when we're riding our bicycles? But as the motorists, we're in vehicles that potentially could cause greater damage to the pedestrian and the cyclist than those can cause to us as motorists. So are we even more careful and making sure that we are indeed very considerate of our driving? For them, for the passengers in our vehicles, for ourselves, and for the other motorists, for all of our road users. Accidents happen, and I guess that's why they call them accident. You don't plan for it, it just happens. But how much is avoidable? how much can be mitigated just by us being a little more attentive, by us perhaps, ensuring that when we do get behind the vehicle, that we're not, in some way incapacitated. Perhaps the lack of sleep, we just pull a double shift. Perhaps we've been working all the time and don't realize how tired we are. But even so, we may have sat and had something to drink and not even thinking that just little bit is a little bit too much. And for some, they've had a whole lot, but they still have that level of conviction that they can move safely. Well, let's rethink that. Let's take this caller. Hey, good afternoon. Welcome. Thanks for calling.
Afternoon again, Sterling.
Welcome back, sir.
Sorry, I just forgot to.
That's fine.
Yes, and you talked about it, so stored my memory. The driving thing, it's a serious problem.
Yes, sir.
There are young men racing, speeding on the roads, horrendous speeds in the night. I'm coming down from up Pedro there, and I see horrible speeds. They're doing 70, 80 miles an hour. Been in the car for a long time, I can pretty well judge that.
Right.
And in and out of traffic, with no signaling or nothing, darkened windows. Some have no license plate. And in the days, you see lots of vehicles without a totally illegible license plate. This is the type of courage I'm talking about. Courage to take care of that. And we've got to cut down on who can just go and import a car here. That is something that's a must. It's a must. We must stop that anybody can willy-nilly just bring a car in. It doesn't happen in other countries. It's restricted, and especially with us with such limited road space. We have just too many cars, much too many cars. Anyone can just bring a car in. That's unacceptable. And we can stop it, but it takes courage. It takes courage. This is the kind of courage I'm talking about, and courage to implement a proper national health system. We see where it's not working. The health insurance scheme, people are unable to pay on $6 an hour salary, $160 a month for insurance, and you still have to pay some kind of a co-payment. It can't work. That's impossible. You don't have to be any mathematical genius to see that can't work, right? Put it in the hands of the government. There's a very small tax, health tax, and everybody pays it. It's so simple. I've been saying it for years, for 20-odd years. This is the kind of courage we need to stand up to the powerful companies here and tell them this is no longer going to be what's going to happen. We're going to do it this way. And it can be done, but it needs courage by our elected Parliament to do these things and change these things. I was reading a dissertation from Mr. Ezra Miller in 2015 about the national pension thing also. Mm-hmm. And it's very interesting. I kept that article also from Mr. Miller, his opposition to what's happening. And as I've said, these things take courage, but it can be done. It can be done. We just got to tell the private sector, you cannot be the bosses. We are. I've stuck my neck out far enough for it to be chopped off. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful, to all,
yes,
pleasant rest of the Christmas, and happy and prosperous and blessed, peaceful New Year. All I believe in Jesus Christ. That's how has kept us. And people should not be afraid to say, that is what our whole ethos or philosophy is based on, that belief in Jesus Christ. And I must congratulate Radio Cayman for the wonderful church services and the presentations on Sundays I've been listening to for years. It does a lot. I'm no professing Christian, but we all grew up with very strong Christian parents, so we know what it is to obey and to realize that this is it, and that's the way. Who doesn't like it? They don't have to come here, they can go somewhere else. That's it.
Thank you very much, sir. And I think this is where he continually demonstrates his courage, that level of appreciation for the society, its values, the ethos. And maybe as we draw alongside each other, for some of us, we find ourselves in Cayman, a new land, and with new friends and new opportunities, a new beginning. It may not necessarily be your new Jerusalem, but you don't have to be a place where because it's a new broom it sweeps clean. It's because you have a new opportunity to start anew. The year rolls in. You may have been here for generations, or you may be a new recruit. You may be someone who no longer, quite understand where you want to be and what you want, but you're here. So let's work together and make it better. We're going to pause shortly and then return. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
Although very similar to their Grand Cayman counterparts, organized religion in the sister islands was spearheaded by the work of Baptist ministers as opposed to Presbyterian missionaries who started the churches nearly 40 years after that in Grand Cayman. In May of 1885, Reverend J.H. Sobey, minister of the Second Baptist Church of Montego Bay, visited Cayman Brac at the invitation of the Brac seamen. During his visit, Reverend Sobey held the first service in a large house, and it was so overcrowded that the following day a tent had to be erected to have the service. In 1886, Reverend Sobey returned to Cayman Brac with Secretary of the Jamaica Baptist Missionary Society, Reverend E.J. Hewitt, in order to introduce Reverend H.W. Rutty as the Brac missionary worker. Congregations started at various settlements with the construction of 2 chapels in Stake Bay and the Creek. The progress would continue, and 6 months later, Reverend Rutty was ordained as a permanent missionary, and more congregations were formed in Westin, Spot Bay on the east end of the island, and South Harbour in Little Cayman. Reverend Rutty's son and grandson would go on to become Cayman Brac's collector and Chief Justice of the Peace.
We may be in Christmas shopping mode, but 'tis the flu season too. Savannah Pharmacy has immune system boosters for the entire family with a range of vitamins and supplements. Their knowledgeable and courteous pharmacists are always available to offer the best advice and products. Remember, they are always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
A friendly holiday reminder. You can WhatsApp your Savannah Pharmacy prescription to 929-5045. That's 929-5045.
During this time of celebrations, this time of giving, this time of joy, there is this special gift more valued than frankincense and myrrh. This gift, your gift, will save lives during this holiday season. Your pint, your gift of blood can save 3 lives. To give your gift, to be a lifesaver this holiday season, call the National Blood Bank and make your appointment. Call 244-2674 or 244-2699, because when blood is needed, nothing else will do. A message from Rotary Central Community Service and the Cayman Blood Donor Service. Have a wonderful and safe holiday season.
All persons aged 18 and over are now eligible to receive booster shots 3 months after their second COVID-19 vaccination. The reduction in wait time for the booster is a precaution as we enter the holiday season in light of the recent development of the Omicron COVID-19 variant. Public health officials around the globe agree vaccines are our best defense against COVID-19. Visit the HSA website for the latest vaccination clinic schedule.
At Subway, we caramel a lot about our customers, so we decided to give you 2 treats in one with the new Caramel Apple Cookie. Enjoy cinnamon apples, caramel bits, and salted caramel crunch baked in, and topped with a drizzle of caramel-flavored icing. Gooey, crunchy, and yummy. Complete your Subway sandwich, pizza, or salad with the delicious Caramel Apple Cookie or any other cookie flavor and dessert, available for a limited time at all Subway locations. Subway. Eat fresh.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And I can honestly see why Miss Norma champions, their YouTube channel, because she says, look at that. If it wasn't YouTube, how can guests see, your next, callers understand who your next guest would be? Well, Luigi Moxo, good afternoon, my friend. Blessings to you.
Good afternoon, my friend. Season's greetings to you and to the listening audience, Cayman. All best of blessings to everyone for the holiday season and into 2022 already.
Wow.
It's a lot, man.
It's a lot, huh?
But we're grateful.
You have to be.
Yeah. I that's my message. I wanted to come in here to remind you, to remind our listening audience, to remind the people of the Cayman Islands that there's a lot going on, and we may not recognize today and be content and happy, and things may not seem to be great. But let's please pause and be grateful for what it is that we do have, and even to some cases what we had. We have to be, sometimes you just got to pause and be grateful for that.
Mm-hmm.
And it can carry us a long way, get us through a lot of things. And God has proven that time and time again.
It's true, and I appreciate you sharing that. And I think when we think back to some of the practices, now some of us know it from our older siblings, some of us only know it from our parents, because they're that age where they were young children. But Christmas time in particular, as the seafarers returned, there was this level of festivity and celebration. There was a camaraderie. There was fellowship, the food, the family, all the things that transpired. And even when some of the people may have gotten a little rowdy, right, there was a level of civility within the community that put things at ease. The policing were there to keep the peace, but they were part of it. It wasn't this adversarial nature. It was all about fun and fellowship, family, and food. I wonder, as you said that, I wonder if that's why we had in our minds, a reference to the good old days, because there wasn't this rush, this stress.
Yeah.
And now, how many of us are looking forward to the day off, but we're not sure when it'll be.
Yeah.
So we can't appreciate what is because we're so stressed. Now, many are, like that tale where the guy is just counting the pennies and he's so glad because, boy, money's rolling in like raindrops, right? But you remind us, there's more to it than the material possessions.
Absolutely. There's a lot to be said for the reason as to why you're gathering. We say that and we get together with family and to friends, and this time of year is celebrated in that regard. Supposed to be for Thanksgiving and for fellowship and family. But in the midst of all that, we all have our lives. We all have individual challenges. In the middle of all that, are we connecting with each other to understand what is really going on, for us to appreciate that time with people? I've tried to make it a point, particularly in the last year and a half, to as a phrase says, give people their flowers while they're here. And sometimes you get people caught off guard because you tell somebody I appreciate you, I respect what you're doing, I love you, and they're not used to hearing that and I expect that. So no, I don't want nothing from you. I just letting you know you may be a teacher that I've seen in a long time. Let people know of the value of their presence in your life, and I've seen how that has made a difference. You don't know what other people are going through. You reminding somebody of that, it makes their day. It may curb their whole path and something particularly going wrong that day.
But I think this is where the end of the year, in particular, and this time of year in our culture, where we celebrate, where we come together, reminds us, as you said. But is that one of the challenges? One, time. We don't seem to, in our minds, have time. The demands of the job, the types of jobs that we have. We look at people in the health sector. We look at, the people in, say, the policing, for instance. But the expectations and demands that our society places on those people, failing to remember that they're humans as well. Right. They have families and friends. They need time to chill too.
Mm-hmm.
So Thank you, Ms. Susan. As we look at that, I work with him, and I might be able to do an impression. But if we were back to what I think we were not long ago, when the seafarers returned, where the whole society came together, that there wasn't any great need for policing because people were stealing. People were out and about gallivanting and jaunting in an irresponsible way that the wider community was unable to respond to. Right? But for some reason, we abdicate the level of responsibility. We leave it for them because security guards everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, really? You know, you'd be wondering what kind of society we've become.
Yeah.
So
I would love to imagine, I can only imagine what that was like. You know, that festive time of year in Cayman where, you know, down in Hogside Bay, whether it's Parish Week or Christmas, it was such a profound sense of community. So I can only imagine when people came home and that was the only way that they could come here, and the whole island knew how joyous that must have been for everybody. And now we take it for granted.
Well, we have unfortunately not only taken it for granted, but we are allowed to be taken away from us.
Right.
I mean, think of
and communications. It's easier to connect with everybody, and we still feel disconnected.
Yes. I think for me, if George Carlin didn't cuss as much, you know, his insight would have been that much easier for me to take on board. Right?
Yeah.
But he talked about us having bigger houses and less home. Right? We have more of this, but less of that, and it's true. Right? We have the ability to communicate and to connect, but we don't appreciate the human connection, the physical interaction. I don't know. It seems that most people want two things but fail to receive it. Yeah. To feel loved and to be wanted, right? And like you just shared, you know, whether it's with a teacher or a former classmate, to draw close to them and remind them, genuinely remind them that they are special, that you look to them with a sense of love, that you value them. For if someone says that to us, what do you want now? Is the first response, right?
And it's actually very empowering and powerful in itself to give love and to show love without expecting nothing in return. That's love, you know, by expressing that or showing that, and you feel better about it as well, and certainly make people feel better about the situation. But yeah,
well, this is why I like with talking to you, because you're always positive. You
I try.
Yeah, and
not always, but I try.
I recall an interview with Cather some time back that you had, right? And you know, people perhaps don't appreciate that. Whether you're a father, whether you're a business person, you know, whether you're a student that has been studying endlessly, you know, you may be an unemployed person. You may be someone employed looking for something better because what you're doing, you're not getting anything out of it. You're not getting enough pay. All those things. But in that, there are many of us in that boat, but you wouldn't know, right? The stress, the pressure, that sense of, you know, feeling beat.
Yeah.
When you look at them, because they're positive, they project, not falsely. They genuinely have a good internal spirit, right?
I promise you, you have done that for me and for countless people with your energy and your voice over the radio waves for people to understand that. So again, we all have the challenges, but I just let you know, reminding you that people definitely see that and feel that with you. So your positivity, to remind you that you also are a big part of that. So, you know, give yourself credit for that as well.
Thanks for reminding that.
Yeah. Sometimes you just need to be reminded, you know.
But there are people, though, that would see that and they would say, oh, boy, that person false. Oh, that person's a hypocrite. Up in church every day, but last night at the bar. Yeah, the person doing both, right? But it doesn't mean that they both are not sincere, right? Sadly, a good friend of mine said, you know, he found more fellowship in the bar stool than he did in the church pew, right? To speak specifically to what you shared, I didn't see this energy, but the positivity that is within. I genuinely love life, want the best for everybody. I'm increasingly finding a growing intolerance for stupidity, ignorance and arrogance and insolence, right? But that's because we're living in a defined time, and it is within us to be the very best that we can be. Hopefully it'll cause other people to say, you know what, if that person can do it, you know, so can I.
Absolutely.
And
it's a living testimony.
Yeah, man.
An
example, the encouragement, right? And that's why with you, you look at you, man.
It's a choice. It's a choice. Again, it's not always like that, but you choose to express that and to share that, just like you choose to be miserable. Like sometimes it just happens both ways, but you ultimately do have a choice. And my wife tries to remind me of that all the time.
but let me ask, and I appreciate your company. I know you've got many things to do, including running your businesses and the like. But when we come back, let's chat about it, because I think we're making choices now in our lives. There is an opportunity to be festive and to celebrate, and choices can be made whether we do it in when and how and where and with whom and all those stuff. But I wonder, right, if we're not abdicating our responsibility, being neglectful of the fact that we have the freedom to choose, and in so doing, actively, publicly making a demonstration of that choice.
Right.
That somehow we are lacking courage. Right? Maybe I'll delve into that.
I like that. Yeah.
All right.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
When we come back, listen, if you got a friend, whisper and say, hey, go on YouTube, Louis G's on. You can see him on the radio. All right, stay tuned for Talk Today.
The holidays wouldn't be the same without a little boom from Fireworks Limited. K-Man's biggest firework discount megastore is now open behind Massive Equipment in Industrial Park. Fireworks Limited has a megastore full of new fireworks and offers huge volume discounts. Stock up early and save big with free gifts with every purchase and the biggest variety of products on island. Fireworks Limited is behind Massive in Industrial Park with tons of parking.
Open until 6 p.m. every night and until 9 p.m. on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve.
Cash is a must this Christmas. JN Money Cash Most Christmas. Send or receive funds with the JN Money this holiday season to win big. JN Money Cash Most Christmas.
Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
20 years.
Remember when Crew Road had no median and Linford Pearson was only 2 lanes?
We do.
When Dirty Reeds was down the street?
We do.
We have been there for the falls, the growth, and the rise. When your body and mind needed to change, Powerhouse Gym has been here. We've skated with you. Your first date, your daughter's first time on skates, your son's first strike. From football to squash, to karate and hockey, to bowling and concerts, and everything in between.
For 20 years,
so much has changed. Some for the good and some not so much. Through it all, King Sports Center has been here for you, for K-Man.
King Sports Center, celebrating 20 years as K-Man's home for fitness, recreation, and relaxation.
Stay clean, stay safe, hey man. Reflections sells gallons of sanitizer for only $25. Buy 2 clip-on sanitizers for just $5. Reflections has the best KN95 masks or reusable cloth masks, and you can get 2 for only $5. Blue surgical masks and face shields are available for children and adults, as well as 10 and 50 packs of black surgical masks. Volume discounts available at Reflections, Jose's Rubus, Reflections Hemp and Tobacco, all 5 Liquor for Less locations, and Food for Less, open 24 hours every day. Don't miss the Liquor for Less incredible priced better markdown. Hundreds of fine from $2.99. Cases of ice cold below wholesale prices. Save $10 off liters of absolute exclusively at Liquor for Less. Prices so low we can't say them on the radio.
Savannah Pharmacy. Shop local and get a head start on your Christmas shopping. For ladies' handbags, clothes, shoes, fragrance, candles, and cosmetics with the newest Farmhouse Fresh line of skincare. For the gentlemen, clothes, shoes, fragrances, gift sets, and toys and games for the kids. Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they are always just around the corner with everything your family needs. And convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
A friendly holiday reminder. You can WhatsApp your Savannah Pharmacy prescription to 929-5045. That's 929-5045.
Talk today. but I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back, and thanks for joining us, and thanks to Luigi Moxon for coming in and sharing. You know, you can imagine the year is almost
a couple more days.
Wow.
I feel like it's been like a
century.
For 1 year. This last year since it's been 23 months, 2 days. I count down since everything gets turned up.
Yeah. Well,
it's been I wanted to just come here and share some love and remind people that there's a lot that we have to be thankful for, despite a lot of challenges that we've all faced as a community. But I am really proud as to be a Caymanian, to be in the Cayman Islands these past couple of years, and having collectively, survived in this community with this pandemic, and continue to do so with our challenges right now. But between all the governments and the private sector, the medical staff, I mean, like you said, there's a lot of people out of sight that are working and sacrificing to make this thing happen for us to have the opportunity to go to work and whatnot every day. But so just be thankful for that. And yeah.
You know, that's the thing. And in embracing that, I think we need to be always mindful, of our freedoms and our responsibilities. And not confuse, not conflate, a freedom and a privilege. Right? I'm probably looking at it through a lens where, knowing firsthand the ultimate sacrifice that have been given by many, to think, to the conversations with the Veterans Association members who are still with us, and to hear, how their sacrifice, their stories of, real people on the real front line, so that I can have the freedom to stand and campaign as a member of parliament.
It's inspirational.
Yeah. To criticize, to champion, whether I'm in Cayman or other places, to see the threats to democracy, even now. We need to appreciate that didn't come, easily. There was a significant cost. What is it they say? Some, I gave everything that they had. And we expect that as coaches of our teams. Leave it on the field, we say, right? Because it's the victory that they want.
Right.
This isn't about a victory or a trophy. This is about,
it has to be celebrated. It has to be celebrated. And I think that the country, the community, the government has done a great job in recognizing, the seafarers in particular last year. Because I had a few great conversations with some of them that I never met before, and learned so much about that part of my heritage that is really inspiring. So it also reminds you, we have modern day, people behind the scenes that are working and making sacrifices to make sure that their family and the community is healthy and in providing for them. So I commend them, everybody who's doing that. It also has to be celebrated. So, as we count down towards the end of the year, there's always we always find a reason to celebrate, whether it's for whatever reason. But we gotta remind ourselves to take some time to give thanks, but also celebrate, what we do have. Yeah, and have some fun. It's not all fun and games, but you gotta enjoy yourself as well.
Well,
you gotta eat good.
You gotta eat good.
You gotta eat good. Yeah. That's one thing I love about the restaurant business, being the food business, is seeing how happy food makes people. I see you. Food makes people happy, and we were saying, the cook and the chefs, all the people the farmers. Yeah. Sometimes they don't get to enjoy it, but they love to see people enjoying what they do. And any person, any kind of creative craft like that,
I think that's part of the reason why we all think, our mothers are the best cooks because it was made with love.
Yeah,
they bring it to the table, and it doesn't matter. I mean, it could be, as Jerry talks about, cooked in our place, the seasoned with salt and disappointment, right? But I'm sure that the little child, when his mommy bringing the food to the table, if it's brought with love, doesn't matter how bad it tastes.
Yeah.
You know, it's the love he's tasting. You know, it's that feeling, that he's enjoying. So
when you say love you like good food, love you like cooked food, that's what you mean.
That's
Because
real
there's love that goes into it. What?
Yeah.
You know, imagine somebody tell you, I don't like you like bad food. That means they really don't like you.
Yeah. I love you like cooked food, huh?
We fight for that. But if you love you like cooked food, that's love.
I tell you, man. Yeah. and it's that wonderful thing that comes out, especially at this time of year.
Yeah. I love to see it.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's some of us who may only eat certain things this time of year, not because of religious preferences or dietary preferences or whatever, but we save it up for this time of year. I don't know about anybody else, but there are probably some of us that had more beef that this year than we had last week.
Yeah.
They probably don't want to more into
the lines long for turtle too. Yeah.
So I hear, man, and that's the other thing too. I keep hearing people making comments. I'm wondering, is it that the demand is so great? Is it a desire to deny the supply? I haven't asked any questions.
Maybe people just appreciate it a little bit more too.
I'm hoping that's what it is.
People treating themselves to it a little bit more. It's or reconnecting with that, or introducing it to more people. Those are all the kind of things that I think about with that. Not just, it's okay to, people find time to complain about the line, but like be grateful that it's available. That we have access to something that we can share with our family and people to educate them about our national dish, whatever it is. It's not. People are so caught up in being negative about everything, it's just like you forget about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People love the plate of turtle, but we're mad that they had to stand in line. You should be lucky that we have this available.
Think about it. Your father, your grandfather, somebody that went to Mesquite not long ago.
Yeah,
out there for months on end. You may see a picture from the South Pacific of a nice little. And they have a name for it, but it's a hut over the water, right?
Yeah.
And that's luxurious, back to nature. But when the guys were doing that, it wasn't a holiday. They were sleeping on splintered wood, open to the elements, eating and drinking and doing everything right then and there. 20 by 20.
This thing came out. We have a lot to be thankful for. We have a lot to celebrate, and I would love to take this opportunity to invite everyone to. Celebrate with your family, with your loved ones, regardless of what you're doing for the New Year's, for the weekend. To be safe, be responsible, and eat good. And we're gonna definitely do our part. We have a couple of things going on with the restaurants, and I love to see it. I love to see people coming together and eating. That's probably the greatest joy of being in the industry that I'm in right now.
Yeah, man. And that's it. You are on that end of it, making sure that those of us who choose, we have somewhere to go. We can dress up. We can bring family and friends.
You choose,
Okay, and for that sacrifice, as it were, many of us would value the time. We'd rather, welcome the new year in our own choosing, as opposed to having to be working constantly and to try to recover the day or the next day in order to get back. But then there are those who I wonder what's going on this New Year's Eve. What are options? Luigi, you have always got some good things going on.
Yeah, I love to I love to eat, love to feed people. So we do have some exciting new things going on this New Year's. So we're actually very excited. This is the first time I'm actually announcing this. Not many people know, but we're opening a new restaurant at Pedro St. James. And Pedro Castle is such a amazing historical landmark here, and to be able to connect with the community, reconnect people. We want people to be, reconnect with Pedro in the not just the history, the culture there, but the presence that is and the influence it's had in our community, in our heritage. So we're very excited to introduce a new restaurant there called Thatch and Barrel, and it's going to be. We're having an opening in a couple weeks, but we're going to be open this weekend, New Year's Eve, and we just invite everyone to come out there and check out the fireworks. We have amazing, dinner specials, of course. It's family friendly, but we do encourage people to make reservations. You can call us at 949-3080. But I'm really excited about it. My grandmother was a restaurant manager at Pedro Castle. I remember going there when it was just a little bar room in the restaurant right there. I'm very excited to be able to reconnect with that. But Pedro is kind of one of them places where a lot of people find it out of sight, out of mind, and they think it's only going there for tourists. Or, I absolutely in love with the history, and they have done such an amazing job keeping that place up to date. And if you go down the archives, inside the archival rooms on there, you learn so much. I take my son there. I just love everything about Pedro, and for us to have this opportunity to have a really nice restaurant there, I'm very proud and very excited to be able to offer that to the community of Bordentown, the Eastern Districts as well, having something out that side. Locally sourced ingredients with a globally inspired menu, and really excited about that. Got some beef from some people right around the road there, getting some our greens and our fruits and vegetables from people like literally across the street. It is a special place, and we're having a New Year's Eve dinner there this Friday from 6 p.m. So we do need reservations because space is limited, obviously, with the restrictions. But yeah, there's an event called Sparkle as well on the Great Lawn, 2 separate events, so everyone can come and enjoy safely and comfortably. I'm very excited about it. So we're going to feed some people some good food at Thatch and Barrel, and Cayman Cabana will be open until 9 as well. But we're going to, it was kind of unpredictable. It was really hard to plan with everything going on. But again, I just had to pause and be thankful for what it is that we got going on. And I'm very excited. It's called Thatch and Barrel. Cayman did the heritage, and then partner with the guys over at Cayman Spirits, and they have the local rum company. So the Thatch and the Barrel, it's inspired by our community's resilience. Yeah. Strong like Thatch and resilience, and age well like rum.
This is why I like your enthusiasm, that industriousness that we see in you. All right, after this break, New Year's Eve, it's special for some, in many ways even more special, right? So maybe tell us more about the event, because a new restaurant endeavor, I think, is always exciting. There's much to go into it, but with times like this now, even challenge. So we want to support you. We want it to be successful because it's good for the economy. It's good for the community. So New Year's Eve at Thatch and Barrel at Pedro. Well, tell us about it when we come back. All right.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Stay tuned. We hear more from Luigi when we return.
You see how hard it's raining?
Yeah, and I don't have time to fight traffic and get my lunch from Subway. I have so much work to do.
Why don't you order Subway by using the Let's Eat or Bento app? Save time, stay dry, and get your sandwich fast.
I never thought of that. Great idea. I'm going to order now.
Order me a veggie pizza while you're at it.
And a cookie platter for the office.
Too busy at work or home? Is the rainy weather stopping you from dining out? Order your favorite Subway sandwich, wrap, or pizza through the Let's Eat or Bento app with fast and reliable delivery. Subway, eat fresh.
Make your house into a home. Welcome to Brand Source Home Gallery, your source for premium products and a premium experience. We'll design and install your dream kitchen with crafted cabinets, complemented with elegant appliances. We'll fill it with quality houseware and cookware. Custom-designed closet and storage solutions organize and beautify any area. And with the finest bedding, you'll get a perfect night's sleep knowing Brand Source Home Gallery has everything you need to make your house a home.
Shop at Funky Tanks, the home of electronics and more. Make sure to check out Funky Tanks' 2 locations, Shedden Road and Countryside, Savannah, for loads of fireworks for your Christmas and New Year's celebrations. Also, new stock has just arrived. Funky Tanks, both locations, open 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., December 20th to December 23rd. And on Christmas Eve, open 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Open 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. December 29th and 30th. New Year's Eve. Open 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Funky Tangs. For more information, call 949-0998. Merry Christmas and a happy and prosperous New Year from the management and staff of Funky Tangs.
'Tis the season to celebrate. I'm Cassandra Bennett, Trade Officer with the Department of Commerce and Investment. Liquor license holders are reminded of their permitted hours and in particular, the closing hours of 12 a.m. effective until December 30th for all bars, nightclubs, restaurants with bars, and retail mobile holders. All liquor license holders are also reminded that sales must stop 10 minutes prior to closing time, which is now 12 a.m. Social distancing is still encouraged and a maximum capacity for indoor venues is 100 people and 250 people for outdoor venues. Closing hours for New Year's Eve will be announced as soon as a cabinet directive has been confirmed. Stay tuned to Radio Cayman 89.9 FM. For further details, please email the Department of Commerce and Investment at info@dci.gov.ky.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon, welcome back, and thanks for joining us, and thanks to Luigi Moxham. You heard it here first. He makes the debut announcement. Thatch and Barrel over at Pedro, a New Year's Eve celebration. Luigi, I know you were very busy, but before you go, I want you to remind us, how to be a part of the event. Now, we do have a caller joining us.
Okay.
And Luigi got a few more minutes that you're going to share with us. So let's hit the phones. Good afternoon and welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Sterling Dwayne. Good afternoon, Luigi.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
And I had a chuckle there for a moment when you announced the Thatch and Barrel restaurant. Mine, you know your daddy don't beat you,
He's an entrepreneur. He'll get it.
Yeah, man. No, he should be extremely proud of you on that one.
We all are, man. Yeah.
Thank you. It's go ahead.
It's a beautiful, breathtaking. I mean, words can't describe how beautiful it is out there. I remember when Dirty Reeds used to be out there. Oh my goodness, it was so nice. The food was awesome.
Yeah.
And you're part of the heritage of Bodden Town, so
yeah.
And I know the family real good. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be a bit surprised that they're family to me as well.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised either.
So I know your grandfather very good, Mr. Selly, and your grandmother, and all of the good folks there.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, so
I really appreciate it. When last time you been out there?
I drove through out there. You say recently, but I didn't stop.
Yeah, it's one of these out of sight, out of mind. I see people come there all the time, and they're like, "Oh my God, I forgot how peaceful and quiet and amazing it is out there."
Yeah, and when the country was open, I used to but recommend people go out there all the time. And we did some weddings out there.
Yeah.
The church actually held some functions out there. I mean, it's just, and it's always in immaculate condition.
They do a phenomenal job there.
Yeah, they're very good. And I think Mickey Tatum is still on that side, giving his tours and stuff whenever.
Oh, he's amazing, yeah.
Oh, goodness, yeah. And Carl Farrell used to be out there.
Mm-hmm.
So, the history and the richness that it feels out there is just awesome. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. That is what the main inspiration for why we went ahead and tried to make this happen, as well as what Pedro means to our country and to the community, and us, knowing how to represent that well. So we're very proud, and we don't take it for granted at all.
You're having a good Cayman food out there, though.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
There's gonna be a twist of a couple of different things, but definitely.
Yeah, it must remain that Cayman tradition out there.
I promise you will. Yeah. So we'll be open this weekend. If you can make it on Friday, we'll be open Saturday night and Sunday from 11 to 9 as well.
11 to 9 on Sunday?
Yeah, 11 to 9 on Sunday, and then we're going to figure out when we're going to open up again, because we're not 100% open. Yeah, but next weekend.
What's the number?
949-3080, is the number to make reservations, or you can call thatchandbarrel.com.
Okay.
You can get some contact information there, or email thatchandbarrel@gmail.
What time you open Saturday evening?
Saturday we're going to be open at 4:30. Oh, the sunset's amazing there, right? So we open from 4:30 on Saturday.
4:30
till about midnight, about 11 or so. Yeah.
Okay.
I hope to see you there, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. All right.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Thanks for the love, man.
And this is where I think, connecting, reconnecting, but becoming acquainted with something. And there is something magical about the space. So we wish you much success.
As soon as you get there, again, it's not about what we doing. It's just like I have I feel like a sense of pride and obligation to represent the history and the heritage of Pedro community, not just the castle, but that Savannah, Lower Valley, Newlands, that whole area and the community there, from Prospect up east, to reconnect with the destination of what Pedro St. James is. It's amazing, and I'm very excited about it. And we're gonna do good things there.
So for those who are looking for,
so New Year's Eve. If you were to do a TV show about how to open a restaurant in 24 hours, that's what we're doing right now. I had to get some major stuff done there, but we will be open at 6 o'clock for a New Year's Eve dinner, and it's $75. That'll be including a menu and some champagne at midnight, and some cocktails as well. So please, and fireworks, of course, and premium oceanside seatings, bottled service. But again, it's just about the experience. We're just inviting people to come down and enjoy the experience of reconnecting with Pedro. And there's also another event on the lawn called Sparkle. That's a nice party as well that we're catering, and we're doing some fun partnering with them as well. It's one of the best New Year's experiences. Again, people want to be comfortable, people want to be safe, and there's lots of space at Pedro on the lawn, as well as at the new Thatch and Barrel restaurant.
The setting is there. To me, there is something about the salt air, the outside breeze. So what safer place to be than, as you shared, open wide vistas. I
don't think there's anywhere on the island where you're elevated to that height, overlooking the South Coast, and it's completely dead quiet. You can hear it. You can barely hear it. You can hear the ocean and overlooking panoramic views of the ocean in the coves. It's amazing. And so there's fireworks out there at midnight on Friday night.
All right. So
fingers crossed. Everything is from what I understand, I believe things are going to be fine for New Year's, as far as when we're allowed to be open. But either way, I'd like to thank everybody behind the scenes, the government and the private sector, for doing what we need to do to make sure the community is safe and comfortable and protected. And we're going to do our part. There's certainly lots of space. We've extended the restaurant into the courtyard at Pedro as well, so there's comfortable social distancing right there. We're not maxing out the capacity at all. We're looking for reservations in advance at thatchandbarrel@gmail.com or 949-3080. And my lovely wife will be able to take your information.
There you go, man.
And do that.
And as the last caller, Mr. Micah Hurlston, there's a noted cultural icon out there.
His voice is made for tourists. He's amazing. I was watching him and listening to him talk to some people. It's good to see tourists going back in there as well, just yesterday.
Yeah.
But he needs to do like a show.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
He's amazing.
We were hoping to, but we'll get in there. Well, Luigi, hoping to not just encourage you, but probably invite you to be on our show again. Hopefully, come New Year's Eve. And this weekend, but New Year's Eve, people will come out, be a part of the festivities, give thanks as you have shared, celebrate together, right? And was it 949-3080?
949-3080. We do request and recommend reservations, as we are going to keep the seating limited for people coming in to have dinner. But by all means, you're more welcome to come by. But for the front side, tables, the best view for the fireworks, we do require reservations, and it's $75. We have an amazing menu put together for you, including some champagne bubbles or swanky, where we prefer, at midnight, along with some delicious food and some entertainment.
There you go.
We're very excited about it.
Well, excited for you. You are certainly industrious, and want you to have a safe, successful, wonderful time, my friend. We'll talk again, all right?
Thank you very much. God bless you, Cayman. And remember, everything may not be great, but we need to be grateful.
So true.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's pause and take a break, and when we come back, we'll show you why this is a great nation. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice. Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
Each Christmas, we try to check in with the maternity ward at the Health Services Authority to see if any Christmas Day babies were born. This year, no births on Christmas Day. However, Christmas Eve turned out to be quite the baby boom with no less than 5 newborns. Over at Doctors Hospital, there was one baby born on Christmas Day. He weighed 8 pounds, 10 ounces. In international news, the head of the World Health Organization said Wednesday that he's worried about the Omicron and Delta variants of COVID-19 combining to produce a tsunami of cases, but said he's still hopeful that the world will put the worst of the pandemic behind it in 2022. 2 years after the coronavirus first emerged, top officials with the UN Health Agency cautioned that it's still too early to be reassured by initial data suggesting that Omicron, the latest variant, leads to milder disease. First reported last month in southern Africa, it is already the dominant variant in the United States and parts of Europe. More than a year after the vaccine was rolled out, new cases of COVID-19 in the U.S. have soared to the highest level on record at over 265,000 per day on average, a surge driven largely by the highly contagious Omicron variant. The previous mark was 250,000 cases per day, set in mid-January, according to data kept by Johns Hopkins University. And LeBron James became the third player to reach 36,000 career points in the NBA as the Los Angeles Lakers beat the Houston Rockets 132-123 on Tuesday to end a 5-game losing streak. Starting at center for the first time in his career, James notched 32 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 assists to record his third triple-double of the season. Those are your latest headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom. I'm Shanda Gallego.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back, and thanks for joining us. We've seen how the last 2 years, or as Luigi Paulo said to us indirectly, as I say publicly, the last 2 centuries, it seems like, it's been a long time. But what is so encouraging is the enthusiasm, the industriousness, that level of entrepreneurial spirit that is within our people. That success we share, we celebrate, it makes us a stronger, better nation. And I'm honored that I get a chance now to share publicly with these 3 wonderful people who reminds us that hard work, determination, that grit, that drive, that resolve, that resilience that's within our people makes us poised for great success. So finally, on the eve of the dawn of a new year, I get them into the studio for our guests as we talk about skin tech and the product and the like. Maybe a brief intro of ourselves. We talk about, the reasons for the product and the like, what we're hoping to achieve. And let's have some fun and let's encourage people, because through your success, others may feel, you know what, I can come on board, and what better time now, right? So, Ms. Samantha, we will allow you to just direct and coordinate. How about that? No? And we'll get...
We'll pass it on to Rachel.
And we'll get Rachel. But this is where, there are times when we're called to celebrate, and there are times when we're called to, champion the public. So, Ms. Rachel, Samantha has delegated. She does delegate.
A true boss.
A true boss. So, good afternoon. But thanks for accepting the invitation. And I think this is where sometimes our own people, we know the success, we are doers, but we don't necessarily know, and want to be public. So it falls to you, Ms. Rachel. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having us here. Actually, I know it's been a struggle back and forth coordinating schedules.
We work hard, man, you know, but it's important, and I think this is good for us because it'll encourage others to be safe and how to do so, but also to motivate them. Hey, we got to start new things. We got to continue to dream.
Correct.
So, a brief intro, Ms. Rachel.
Brief intro on our company and our product, I guess. So we are a part of a tech company. Every year we launch new verticals, as we call them, to allow our members to be able to achieve success on their own terms. You don't have to be in all the different technologies. You get to choose what you want to do to make an advancement in your life. And we recently launched a new product called Skin Tech. So essentially what it is we looked at the environment and what everybody needed right now. What everyone is overly using hand sanitizer, not realizing how bad it actually is for you. And because, you know, before all this, people weren't excessively using it. So in a lot of the studies that we did, we turned around and found out some shocking news, I guess you could say. We did not realize that because people are excessively using hand sanitizer now, that a lot of people are having eye irritations, of course, skin irritations, because hand sanitizer is mostly alcohol, minimum 75% alcohol in them. So people, it's always breaking out people's skin and everything. So the biggest shock to us was to find out that people were actually having liver issues from hand sanitizer. There's actually over 300 of them on recall right now. So, and what became of it is people don't realize that your skin is the largest organ that you have. So with that being said, for every time you put this alcohol in your hand to cleanse, if you are excessively and overly using it in a time like now, your skin is constantly absorbing a portion of the alcohol. So it's coming in to be no different than someone that drinks alcohol on a regular basis.
Yeah, the drinking alcohol.
So because of that, it was causing people's liver issues, which was a shocker to us in our studies that we found out. So we went through to find a product that would lasting protection for everyone was the way we designed it. It was designed to be colorless, odorless, environmentally friendly, because, you know, as soon as everyone started wearing the gloves and started wearing the masks and everything, they all started ending up in the oceans. They started ending up everywhere in the environment. So that was where we designed Skin Tech. So what Skin Tech is, it's not a hand sanitizer. It is a skincare product. It has been it has been exceeding our expectations, because one of the main attributes of it is sanitizing. So it lasts for 4 continuous hours. It lasts longer than 4 hours, but it does not start to break down until the 4-hour mark. And you can wash your hands, you can do all that stuff, and you're still fine. It protects you from bacteria, spores, corrosive substances. And this is on contact. So people don't realize with hand sanitizer, everybody overly using it. When you put it on your hand and you touch a surface, you're no longer sanitized. With this product, every surface you touch within those 4 hours, you are actually sanitizing. So everybody that loves to go to Foster's and touch the same handle when they're getting their lunch don't realize. A lot of people don't like to admit it. They don't like to wash their hands. But or you touch 5 million and one things before you actually do wash your hands. So you don't know how many people have touched that same surface, how many people have touched anything else. And that was one of the biggest things here. So anything you touch, you're sanitizing. I like to say, anything you touch, you're touching it. It's not touching you. That's what I like to tell people.
Yeah.
So that was our main basis of coming up with this product.
And I like your approach to the environmental aspect and the like. And people have responded, you know, out of a sense of safety, out of fear, out of a genuine concern as to how to make themselves. But we do appreciate that the skin, being a large organ, you know, you go in a place where there's smoke, whether it's the smoke from the barbecue, whether it's the smoke from the marshmallows being roasted, or whether it's, some other smoke. It gets on our clothes, it gets on our skin, and we absorb it almost as if we were exposed to it directly. Yeah. So with that and this product, one question I perhaps would like, to get help. We're going into spaces and it's almost being pushed on us. You got to spray, even if you got your own thing. If you put this on and you go in, we're going to be shopping from one shop to the next, and each time, even within the same shops, we're being doused with this stuff.
As I said, the best part to this product, so you can wash your hands continuously over and repeatedly for the 4 hours, and it won't break down, because those 4 hours is actually with consistent hand washing. So it protects from corrosive substances. So everything that they're spraying on you, everywhere you're going, is a mix of some type of blend.
Right.
So for everywhere that you go and they spray it, it won't affect the coverage that you have from this product.
And it might help you from that, absorbing some of that other
Exactly.
stuff.
Yes, because what it does is it creates a biochemical glove. And a part of the skin that you put it on, it creates a biochemical glove over that area. So no matter what they spray on your hand, you will stay completely protected. See, I have a skin condition. I have dermatitis. And that was my biggest thing when I came back with my baby last year, going through the airport. They had 4 different sanitation areas. Because of my skin condition, I could not use them all. So they had me use 2 of the 4. But they have to realize a large majority of the world has some way or another a skin condition.
Yeah.
So
and we're exposed to so much, even in our genuine attempt to be safe, not just compliant, but to be safe. We want to do the right thing, but what's the cost and the consequence of that unknowingly, trying to do the right thing? When we come back from our break, I want to ask more about Skin Tech. Tell us more about the product, its availability, how do we get it? And get people to appreciate that this is a partnership. Us now doing something that positively makes us better and healthier, and hopefully, safer. For those who are listening, if they want to share their thoughts, well, Miss Susan is right there. She'll answer your phones. When we come back from the break, you can share your thoughts with us, 949-8037 or 1-800-534-TALK. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
We may be in Christmas shopping mode, but 'tis the flu season too. Savannah Pharmacy has immune system boosters for the entire family with a range of vitamins and supplements. Their knowledgeable and courteous pharmacists are always available to offer the best advice and products. Remember, they are always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
A friendly holiday reminder. You can WhatsApp your Savannah Pharmacy prescription to 929-5045. That's 929-5045.
The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. Please be advised that the pension contribution holiday has been extended until 31st of March, 2022. Employers and plan members should ensure arrangements are in place for salary deductions and remittance following this date. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan, keeping you informed. For further information, visit chamberpension.ky. And for information as it happens, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Email admin@pensions.ky or call 745-7630. We're here for you.
Hi, I'm Minister of Health and Wellness, the Honorable Sabrina Turner. The best gift you can give yourself this holiday season is the gift of protection. If you are 18 or older and received your second dose of COVID-19 vaccine more than 3 months ago, please get your COVID-19 booster. There's no greater gift than being protected and protecting those you love. For more information on boosters, visit www.gov.ky/coronavirus.
The community is reminded to ensure the proper disposal of used LFT kits. Place the used LFT and all items into the marked bag with the biohazard yellow triangle symbol provided with the kit, and then discard in the garbage bin. For more information on waste disposal tips, visit the DEH website at www.deh.gov.ky or their Facebook page or call 949-6696.
Talk today. But I do have some questions.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program. Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And I'm really grateful that as we go into the new year, that poise and promise of the potential that lies ahead, that industriousness, that entrepreneurial spirit that we have. Well, we see people not just being responsive to the environment, but doing it in a way that is environmentally sensitive and sensible and responsible, but equally positioning the economy to roll along, as the engines, come up to full steam. Miss Samantha, I must say, you bring along a great team, and as Rachel said, the boss knows how to delegate, right? SkinTech, more people will get a chance to share, but we are living in a different time. Sometimes seemingly with competing expectations, with confusing information, and when like you, Chef, when we are in the culinary arts and understanding the importance of cleanliness and good hygiene, from the desire not to cross-contaminate, even from a religious perspective. Don't mix my pork with my vegetables, please. Right? For some people, that's, you got stir-fried anyway. No. But from you, in SkinTech and in the kitchen, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, one of my biggest concerns was, one of my biggest concerns with any form of sanitizer is how safe it is around food.
Mm-hmm.
And alcohol being as strong as it is, it's not good for human consumptions or being contaminated with the food we eat. So when I heard about SkinTech, I went and looked at it, and the fact that it's washable, that I can still be able to wash my hands and still operate with food. It's kids friendly. It's you name it. It's compatible.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a big yes for me going into it, using it. Another positive for me was the duration. It lasts 4 hours minimum.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, still washing our hands, but a lot of times a lot of people misunderstand the use of gloves, because they put on the gloves and they're touching everywhere with the same pair of gloves, contaminating everything just the same. And the fact that you're wearing the gloves, put your mind in the position where you don't have to wash your hands as often.
Mm-hmm.
So me wearing SkinTech gives me that mindset that I'm using bare hands, so I still need to constantly wash my hands, even though I'm protected from and protecting at the same time.
Yeah, and I'm glad you referenced that false sense of security that someone
Yeah.
You're in the garden and you pulling out the weeds in order to plant the next herb. You think you got your gloves on and you don't realize that the prickles can get through the gloves.
Uh-huh.
But you would be a little bit more cautious if you were barehanded.
Exactly.
So
with the SkinTech, it gives you that sense that I'm still barehanded, so I still wash my hand and still feel like I'm still handling food, so I constantly wash my hands throughout the day.
Yeah.
So with a glove, the only thing that is on your mind, I'm wearing a glove, so everything is okay. So while I do promote the wearing of gloves, it's being done incorrectly most places. So SkinTech is the best option for me right now.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to impede people in a different
No, not at all.
I hear what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
And we are busy. So the person who is, whether it's the cashier, the gloves on and from one to the next. So the person who is preparing the food, you're moving from point to point.
Yeah,
unconsciously, without thinking about it, you're touching and doing, not using the gloves specifically for that one thing. But it's also economically, if you were to put on the gloves now and work with this, take them off, put on another set of gloves to work with that. End of the day, time and money.
Okay, and another thing as well. Picture one person for 365 days of the year going through maybe 10 pair of gloves a day. What's that for the environment? And that's only for gloves. With the SkinTech, you're basically wearing a glove without any form of pollution.
Yeah. Richard, you talked about being environmental conscious as a company, and I, again, probably even inadvertently, we see masks and gloves and different things in the car park. Probably be putting groceries in the car, be fussing with all of our stuff, and the gloves fall off and the mask fall off. We didn't even know it until we where did that go to?
Yeah.
So it happens, and yet there are those who do it otherwise. So your product allows that sense, as Chef said, right, to be more conscious.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. All right. For those who want it, I mean, before I ask Rachel and Chef, from that perspective, you know, using it.
Yeah.
There are times we put things on, and I'll put it this way, and maybe it's mine in my perspective, but real coconut oil.
Yeah.
You put it in your hands. It don't take long before you realize that it's absorbed. And it's good.
Right. Yeah.
If it's cut with anything else, there's this film that stays there, hair greaser film that doesn't go in real coconut oil. You know, absorbs quickly.
Yeah.
You know, wearing Skin Tech, when you put it on, what does that feel like? I mean, just
actually, the first maybe 60 seconds, you feel that you have it on. After that, if your hands feel normal. And one other thing is they don't dry your skin. Don't dry your hands. Don't feel dry, and like that.
I think it has an aging process. Okay, you look a lot younger.
But yeah, it just lasts about 60 seconds, if that long. As soon as it dries, then you start doing what you're doing. It's almost as if you're not wearing it.
And then when you're washing your hands and doing this stuff, you know, there are certain things that, again, maybe it's my words, but you put on something, you feel like it's a coating. And then there's some things like the coconut oil, you wouldn't know you had it on unless you put it on, right?
Yeah.
With this, once you put it on and the seconds pass.
Yeah, even when you wash your hands, it doesn't feel like, you know, some things you put on your skin and then you get this sticky, especially if the hand get wet, right?
Right.
That doesn't happen with this.
It's almost as if
that's my experience with it.
So when you first put it on, it's usually like stick it. He's saying the first 60 seconds. It's usually like stick it for the first 60 seconds, and then you don't feel anything.
That's with most things. I mean, you get in your hands for a bit.
Yeah.
All right. And after that, you can go and feel comfortable knowing that you have something.
Yes.
Now, I only because you shared, the skin condition. There are many, whether it's some other allergy or to a thing or certain thing that is an irritant. Many people, as you shared, have something that irritates the skin. Using this, since you mentioned Rachel, no issues?
No, I've actually, shockingly, so
yeah, I was about to say that.
My hands used to look like a 80-odd-year-old hand, as I'm sorry to say. I do have the pictures that I can show people because of my skin condition. They used to look very, very, very aged, and
dark.
Yes.
And she's saying. But this is where that use something good helps, right?
Yeah. So this is literally the best my hands have probably looked in. I don't even know how many years to tell you.
And you've only been using this for a few months.
Yeah, we launched it in April, and we actually didn't get it in hand here on island until June. So I've only been using it since then, and I'm so happy with the way that my hands look now. They look normal, I should say.
But they look beautiful, if I can say.
Yes, thank you. Yes, they do. But compared to how they were before, this has been a life changer for me. Because even when I was, like I said, when we were coming back up, I had a baby, which is why we took so long to come back when COVID hit and everything, because I didn't want to go in the plane with him. And so he came here and I put him to school, and I tell his teachers every day, because before I send him in there, I cover him from shoulders to tips and hips to toes. Because he's in preschool, so everything they touching, they putting in their mouth. So even though he's still touching it, like everybody else, at least I know that he's sanitizing it before he put it in his mouth. This is my biggest thing.
And the fact that it is a moisturizer.
Yes, that is one of the biggest things for me with the moisturizing. I think that's why it got my hand back to where it was, because usually because of the skin condition, my hands would have tears all over them and cuts and everything. And how this actually works is if you actually have a cut on your hand and you put it on, it seals the cut. So if I went to somewhere and they sprayed my hand with hand sanitizer, it would not burn. Or even if they put alcohol in my hand, it would not burn anymore because of the coverage that the Skin Tech gives. And that was a game changer for me.
Awesome. And as you shared, I'm thinking back to, you're in the kitchen constantly. You're constantly going. You dicing, splicing, and chipping and chopping. I mean, we watch you at your magic at work, right? But you wash your hands, and like it or not, many people, but many in particular, the only complete their hair and realize that their hands are a bit rough is when they hold a baby or the wife says, "Oh, is that sandpaper?" So it's helped as well, right? So
yeah, immensely. It's this. I've never seen or heard of anything like this before. So to be a part of it, it's very, 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 very.
Well, I'm glad that you guys would share this with us, because I think as we look at what lies ahead and the expectations we have of ourselves in terms of being safe and healthy, the desires we have for our family, for those who want to check it out directly, what's the best way? How can we get in touch? How can we find out more? How can we, source the product?
The best way to get in touch is, I guess, to just give us a call. We also are in talks with a few of the different stores here. So you can get in touch with us. I guess the phone number.
Please, whatever number you share.
You can either call myself at Rachel at 929-2176, or you can call Samantha
at 326-2492.
Yeah, but we are in the middle of talks with a few different stores. I know that Fashion Mart is one of them, so they're waiting to get products in their stores. I know Locks on Wheels has products. They have a Skin Tech, and they also have a few other health products and stuff in there. So that's a good location to go and get some stuff. If ever they run out of stock, you just call the phone numbers that we give, and you can get us on hand.
We're also looking into hair salons. Yeah, because I have my hairdresser. She tried it on her hand when she was creaming and dyeing someone's hair, and it didn't burn. Yeah.
And that's the thing too. I mean, people in that sector, for instance, the beauticians, they're around a lot of chemicals. I mean, last time I got my hair creamed and colored. Yeah. But you can imagine just from the smell when you go in there and what that must be doing to their hands long term, the liver perhaps being absorbed all these things as well.
Yeah, because they usually use gloves when they're within, whenever they're relaxing and stuff people's hair. So we've literally tried it out. We have all of the videos and stuff to prove it. And I mean, if anyone would like to try out a product, we will come and test it out with you and record. If you want to test a product, that is all fine. I have a few people lined up for stuff they want to try. But of not putting gloves on and applying this product and testing it out and seeing if it actually works. Because like I said, we have an abundance, as Samantha was saying, we have an abundance of hairstylists that have not put gloves on their hands and have put the Skin Tech on and have relaxed people's hair or put dye in people's hair. And they didn't have any effect they didn't have any burning sensation or anything on their hands, which was a shocker. So like I said, it has been surpassing our expectation of what we designed it for.
Well, there's a cost savings to the business. There is certainly to the environment. I just just even properly disposing of gloves take a while, right? But there's also then the health benefits to that person as well. I'm mindful that out of certain events that transpire in history, there are good outcomes. Yes. And this looks like promises to be one of them, right, Miss One? She's here. All right. I'm hoping that we can have more discussions in the future, good stories from people who are sharing what their experiences have been, the improvements in their skin. Rachel, I mean, if you and I know people who have Chef,
not to stop you.
No man.
Out of curiosity, my wife, her son have a allergy that whenever he eats a certain product and he lick his lips, it forms a ring around his lips that then swells and get very red and look like he's having some form of fungal infection on his lips. We did it over 3 weeks.
Couple days. Like maybe about 4 days.
We put it on and immediately it's not red anymore. The bumps start to go down, and right now you wouldn't even know that it's there.
So he have something called tonic tongue. So the pepper, like if he eats pepper, it burns his lip. So it burned around all of his mouth. Yeah, so I think like 4 days it came off. I mean, it was gone.
Wow.
We just applied it every 4 hours, and 4 days gone.
And how long does it usually last?
The first time,
a long time.
Yeah, like
I take him to the doctor and they gave him antibiotics, saying that he had been allergic to something, but it wasn't that.
And now it's
if it ever, whenever we see it again, we just do that.
But it hasn't come up.
The second time when we actually decide to
do
put it on,
it didn't come up. It not come up. And it's like a few months ago. I took pictures too, just to.
And he's eating this as he normally goes about it normally, so no change other than using the skin tech.
Yeah.
Well, this is where I think sometimes just knowing this knowledge is powerful and empowering, right? And you sharing personal experiences.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I really look into with this product. A lot of people put out something and they'll say they'll stand behind it, but this actually works. Yeah.
You know what, man? When you put your personal sort of experiences to the test, I'm glad it's been a positive thing.
Yeah.
I found it, man. It's the way to do it, man.
Yeah.
So, Miss Rachel, your phones will be ringing. Was it 929-2176?
Yes. And we are actually looking for representatives to go out with the product too. So anybody that needs an extra hand, because we know everybody needs an extra hand right now. So.
Two sometimes.
I agree.
All right, well, we're looking forward to having you back here and talk to you, but also on a Business Buzz to talk about it, to encourage people, because this is the new year, and we want to see new opportunities. We want to see success. We want to see people not just grow their businesses and to be healthy, but to appreciate that working together. One hand washes the other, right? Exactly. And in this case, you can wash it for 4 hours. All right, final thoughts, Chef. Maybe if you have any thoughts you want to leave with our listeners. Samantha, you as well, man.
Get the skin tech, try it.
It's also good for acne.
Acne as well, huh?
Yeah, my face was breaking out.
Okay. Can it make me more handsome, you think? So?
Probably gray hair too.
You see your friends? Oh man. Well, hopefully it does. I'll try that next. And we know it moisturizes. We know it.
Yeah.
It does more than sanitize. It creates a protective barrier. So, Rachel, for those who want it, give you a call.
Oh yeah. We're right here waiting every day for calls.
All right.
Be that, and we've been out with Chef John across from Spots Dock a few times so far. So when they run out of food and pack up, we're out. But we've been out there. We were out there a few Saturdays ago before Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah, so the Saturday before Christmas, and then Friday gone, we were out there with them. So, yep, you usually see me out there with a little sign wave.
Yeah, man. Well, I this is how, we move forward together. And thank you guys for accepting the invite to share. And hopefully people listening will understand that this is just one other layer of protection in a changing world with much uncertainty. Was that there was all? Living in a world of uncertainty? No, I think that's how we're making it happen, right?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much. So the number again, the best way to contact?
929-2176 and
326-2492.
Okay. Let ladies do the work, man. Yes. We got to stand in the kitchen. But may I not only wish you continued success, But I continue striving, to not just greatness, but to building a community, a very healthy, safe, prosperous, peaceful new year. And I hope to get to engage more often as the year rolls around. Right?
Sure.
So thanks for telling me to tell us about Skin Tech, and
you.
hopefully people would appreciate that it is another added benefit that gives us another measure of protection.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you for having us.
Well, to our listeners, Miss Susan is always here. For those of us who get some time off tomorrow, I'll do just that. I'll be back on, next Tuesday because Monday is a public holiday, and I'll take that. Thank you. Raymond Singh will sit with us for the next 2 days. We want you to be a part of what's going to transpire here on Radio Cayman. And if I may, continue to wish us all a very happy, healthy, safe, prosperous, blessed, peaceful, enjoyable, and happy new year. Add Skin Tech to your regimen. You may find that your skin improves, your looks get better, your hair might grow, but at the very least, you'll know that you have added measure of protection. Until Tuesday, be blessed.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. MedLab in Smith Road Plaza, your complete medical laboratory solution. Call 949-7331. And Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village, convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays.
Shaken yet standing firm.
I was not built to break.
This is Radio Cayman.